damn good year. At $6,000 a token, right? Times 20. It's $120,000. Now, take $120,000 times 80%, because we're being very conservative, right, guys? That's $96,000 a year at a $6,000 token. $96,000 a damn year. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Poor Man Printing. And today we're going to go over a little math on ILLUVIUM. That's right, we're going to see what Scorex, the man, the myth, the mathematical genius, has come up with. So I want to share it with all of y'all, and let's just go straight into it. So like I said, guys, if you are not following this guy right here is the man you want to follow for the math. So let's just go straight into it, because man, you are gonna want to see this, because I'm telling you right now, if his math is right, oh my god, you're gonna make so much money with ILLUVIUM. And not, you know, the game is awesome too. You're gonna make money with the game also. So I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? I'm just saying. But let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it.
Hey everyone,
what's up?
I've got some really interesting stuff to talk about today. A few people on my RevDiz video talked about how 15 million players was an extreme case for ILLUVIUM. Now, in a certain sense it is, but in this video I'm going to break down exactly why it is quite the opposite. 15 million in a 5-year plan is extremely conservative, and I will explain that to you. Alright, let's jump on into it.
Oh snap, look at this game. Look at it. Look at his intro. He's getting good. I'm about to step my game up, bro.
So you're going to want to trust me and hear what I have to say, okay? It's relatively speculative, but I have grounded it in some really interesting figures as well. If you want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe down below, and you're definitely going to want to watch to the end of this video. I've got some really interesting stuff I reverse engineered at the very end to show you some numbers that look extreme, but personally I don't think they are. But I want to hear what you think, so definitely let me know. Okay, so first I'm just going to jump into this site. Okay, I've used one of these figures later on in the video, but I wanted to talk to you about kind of where I'm coming from this with, right? So this describes the average amount spent on video games by gamers. Okay, in my figures I've only looked at these in-game purchase values. I've totaled them all together, and you'll see why in a second, but basically the short of it is that an average American gamer, which I would assume will be most of the people playing ILLUVIUM, at least to a degree, spends about $377 on in-game purchases every year, right? So just think about that for a second. Per year doesn't really feel like that much. It's actually like $1.08 every day. So in the grand scheme of things, it is not that bad. So let's jump on into it. I've rigged up a metaverse tab in my calculator, okay? And I'm gonna talk about a few really quick things. Firstly, I couldn't get the revenue for all of the Blizzard games, so I apologize about that up front. But I did get the total revenue they got for 2020, so really the other revenues don't actually matter that much for what I'm about to talk about, unless you looked at a specific game and things like that, but I'm not doing that in this video. These are the figures of monthly active players for Blizzard, monthly active players for the Blizzard suite for all their video games. Okay?
Yeah, I'm actually a monthly player, but I don't play and I still pay.
And it totals about 213 million players. Now, I know this doesn't really relate to my 15 million player hypothetical in my last video, but Kieran and Aaron have made it very clear that they want to have a Blizzard-like suite of games in the future of ILLUVIUM, and that they've also future-proofed every single one of their Illuvials. This sounds ridiculous to begin with, but let me just let me just talk you through that for a second. I've got a bit of a design background.
And that's true, guys, because Kieran has said that, you know, we have the ILLUVIUM 0 game coming out. Then you have the original game, ILLUVIUM, coming out, which both of them work together. And it's going to be 3 more games. I do know that they're working on a mobile game for your cell phone. So at least 2 more games have not been announced. So, yeah, I can see where this is going. And they're all using the same token. Just saying.
Now, not quite game design, but I do know many game designers. I've worked in a game design firm for a short while as well. I've got this tab here called Assets Close. And this is personal opinion, but really listen to it, okay? Hearthstone, which is a TCG game, they've made cards for all the Illuvials, just for the ILLUVIUM game. Besides game design and adding some back-end code, it really wouldn't actually be that difficult to turn those cards into the card game. And games have done it before. Riot's Legends of Runeterra. They used a lot of the artwork and skins and things they had already, chucked it into cards, put it into a game. Okay? So it's a lot closer than you might think. Heroes of the Storm, obviously they've got a lot of abilities already set up. They would need a few more for each Illuvial, mixing and matching, but all the models are finished. And believe me when I say that that is the hardest part of game design. Okay? The game design aspect can take a lengthy amount of time. The assets themselves usually depend on the amount of people you have working on them. And their team is quite decent. I wouldn't call it large, but this means that they'll be able to get things done a lot faster. Now, the next one I'll look at is World of Warcraft. Not quite there, but that being said, they do have an open world setup in their ILLUVIUM with a lot of scenery and other things. And I'll jump into that if you guys want to see it. Well, that's just the thing. They've got a lot of this scenery set up. They would need a lot more for an MMO RPG, right? But it's also good to think that probably 50% of World of Warcraft's scenery and everything happened after its initial launch. Okay? It didn't launch with that much stuff. It had like, I don't know how many expansions. I probably should have looked that up, but it's had about 4 or 5 expansions at least.
And he's right on that, because I remember when you used to couldn't fly in World of Warcraft, and all of a sudden they brought this up saying you'll be able to fly on the mounts in the World of Warcraft, and they had to go through there and where the mountains and the buildings come up, you know, so they had to like fix all of that. So when you're flying, you can actually see the top of the building or the top of the mountain and everything else. They started with a very small game and had a bunch of expansions. So I could see ILLUVIUM doing the same thing, guys, the same thing.
So just keep that in mind. Call of Duty is a shooter. Obviously, there might not be heaps of guns, but I know that there are lots of different tech trees for the different weapons in the game that you can equip to your character and use in the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have a decent amount of the weapons set up for a possible shooter. Starcraft 2 is a real-time strategy. This one's a bit hard to talk about, but this one would probably require the most work out of all of them. That being said, it probably has the least amount of people spending inside of it, so it's not that stressful. Overwatch, for a lot of the reasons I talked about the other ones, it's probably got a great deal of the assets in terms of the abilities and things. Goes for the same for any MOBA game, like Heroes of the Storm, like I said before. And Warzone, same thing, shooter, but it typically only has 1 or 2 major maps, at launch at least, so that's probably a lot closer to being created than something like just a regular shooter where you've got 10 to 15 maps. I think in terms of the character models and the guns and things like that, they have a lot of them. In terms of the scenery, they have a really great stuff at the moment, but not enough for something like a shooter. Not yet. And yeah, they link up to these total players. And these are the upcoming releases, and I've linked them to some other things. You can look closely at this chart if you want, but I've used Teamfight Tactics, Axie Infinity, and Clash of Clans as a few good examples for showing some of the revenue that these things have pulled in. Alright, following that, I got the average player spend for all of these games. Now, I'll just break this down at the bottom. These figures, you don't need to look too deeply into them, right? The ones I would focus on are the APY at the bottom here, which is the APY on any given token, based on the current token price. It's dipped a bit today, so this might actually be a bit higher than it is right now. But this does change. It's average token price from today. So if the RB price changes, it doesn't actually matter, because you still bought it at that price. But I digress. So if we had 5% of their full Blizzard suite, which I truly believe they could get finished in under 4 years. I know this sounds insane, but if you think about the amount of revenue and their company culture they have, I truly believe it's very possible.
And he's right on that too, because I've actually talked to some of my old guild mates and explained the game to them, and they was like, man, this is pretty good. I'm like, yeah, and you can get paid. You know what I mean? You can play World of Warcraft and raid the balls every week, all you want, and maybe get a shot at some weapons or whatever whatever that boss is dropping. But you can play Illuvium, get paid, and possibly get some kind of high value alluvial that you can sell or keep or train or whatever you want to do. So yeah, the World of Warcraft crew is on board with Illuvium. Well, my friends are.
Okay, feel free to correct me on that, but at least an early version or a beta of a large suite of these games could be in effect. And I know they aren't as well known as Blizzard, but lots of other suites have been taking over Blizzard's market share lately. So these numbers are actually lower than what it would have been 3 or 4 years ago. Okay, so if they had 5% of the numbers, they would have almost 18.5 million monthly active players, $600 million in annual revenue, and an average player spend per year of $33. You can buy a pub meal and spend that pub meal over a year to play video games and earn money. I think you would. Okay, and the rev diz per token on average would be $82.60, and that's 5% of those figures. 18 million.
So what he's saying is the $33 that you would spend, the average player would spend a year, is very, very close, because before you could buy game time and then sell it in the marketplace, people had to grind for gold. You know what I mean? But then when Blizzard come out with this token that you could buy for $20 or $30, I don't forgot, it's been so long since I bought one. And you could put it in the marketplace and sell it for gold. That's what I used to do, because I didn't have time to grind. Like I said, I'm always working. I'm always working. So I would buy these tokens for $20, $25, put it in the marketplace and sell it for X amount of gold, and use the gold in game for what I needed, like cutting gems or materials to make it, crafting axes or armor or whatever I used to do. It's been so long since I played, but that's true. $30 is actually low. I would spend like shit. I'm gonna say like $80 a month. That's me though, because I like gold and I like money. But he is correct on that, brother. I'm telling you.
Way above 15 million. Okay, that's a 5-year plan, but I really think that's highly reasonable. You can see the 10%, 20%, and 100%. You're at just over 100% APY on your tokens if we had the Blizzard scenario, if we actually had that, which is getting to the extreme end. But I'm going to change your mind in a second, all right, or I'm going to try to. Don't want to make this video too long, so this is going to be the last thing. Let's have a look at these first two, and then I'll delve into the last two. So just bear with me, okay? Please, I promise it'll be worth it. This 500,000 players. Now, I know no one's really asked me why I use that amount, but I think it was Aaron that actually mentioned that their newsletter has 500,000 signups. Obviously, that isn't going to convert straight to 500,000 players, but I like it as a starting point because Axie has 2 million, and when you compare the two, let's be realistic here. I think once it catches on, it will catch on. It's just a matter of when it catches on. But I think we're going to see the turning point very, very fast after launch, depending on how much people are making as well. That's why I like to use 500,000. Now, those numbers I showed you before, an average American spends 377 over a year. And if that was the case, and we had 500,000 players, you're looking at about a 1.6% APY. Still way better than the bank, not what you were looking for. It hasn't been considered the return a player might get. So I'm going to delve into these next two bits quickly because I really want to get
passive income, guys. Passive income.
Axie Infinity. These are the figures for that. It would net about a 34% APY on any given token. On the average token, it's actually more for SLP and ILV 2.0 stake, but I'll go into that. It's another video. It'll be 34% per year, which is a great APY for anyone. I promise.
Yep. Yes, it is.
And this realistic player spend. Now, I went to my gameplay loop and I messed around with some numbers, and all I've done is that $377 that you would have spent on video games over the course of a year, I reverse engineered that and I turned it into if a T1 alluvial sold for $50, actually sell for $400 to $500. So I think 50 is extremely reasonable.
Yeah, extremely.
Axies too. Oh no, they sell for 200. I've got it right there. Sorry. They sell for 200. So I'm being really conservative. If that was it, and you got an alluvial every day, okay, and it was $50, then your average player spend per day would be $50. All right, close to $50.
And that's very conservative, guys. Very conservative.
As you guys can see, $48.97. All I did was I reverse fed that into my calculator, and I did that for 500,000 and 2 million players. If a player made $1 a day selling alluvials that they caught, you would get 77% APY RevDis on your tokens. If there were 2 million players like Axie has, which I think is low, you would get over 300% APY.
Wow.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but think about what I'm telling you here. If you profited the exact same amount an average American spends on video games, the potential APY for your tokens could be close to 80%. All right, I hope you guys learned something. This is all speculative and not financial advice.
Look here. Y'all need to go subscribe to this guy right here. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious, guys. Did you hear what he just said? We're about to get into it now. I'm about to show you my numbers. He said 80%. He said 77, but it's more like 80%. And if Axie, if we have the Axie numbers, you're looking at 300%. I'm not even going to go there. That's kind of extreme. I'm going to go with not extreme, conservative at 80%. So let's do this. Okay, guys, we're on my dashboard. And yes, I've got 3.09 ILV in about 3 weeks. It's freaking insane, right? Now, just looking at what I have, let's just say, I got 9 here and then a 3 here. So 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll have 20 in no time, right? We're going to work off of 20, guys. We're going to work off of 20. What is the price of the Illuvium right now? ILV is 1545. You know what? I'm just going to say 1500. How about that? 1500. So you take 1500 times 20 tokens. 20 tokens, guys, right here equals $30,000, right? Now, $30,000 times 80% being conservative, right? Being conservative. Y'all ready? Oh, let me bring it out here. Are y'all ready? That's $24,000 a year. I'm looking at $24,000 passive income every year on my 20 tokens. Just 20 tokens at the current price. Do you think the current price is going to stay at 1500? So let's go back to the calculator. Now, to clear all this out, let's just say we have a damn good year at $6,000 a token, right? Times 20. It's $120,000. Now, take $120,000 times 80%, because we're being very conservative, right, guys? That's $96,000 a year at a $6,000 token. $96,000 a damn year. I don't know what else to tell you guys. I'm showing you the math. If his math is correct, $96,000 a year on 20 tokens. What else you want me to tell you, guys? What else you want me to tell you? Showing you the math. It's right there. is right there, guys. Right there. Right there. Guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm super duper bullish on Illuvium. And I'm trying to let you know. Let me go ahead and say my piece for, YouTube. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not follow me. You will lose your money. Please do what you want to do with your money. Do not follow me. I'm not a financial advisor. I failed that class in preschool. $96,000 on a $6,000 token. And it's going to go there. Will it go there by the end of this year? Probably not. But it will probably go to $2,000 by the end of this year. This is what I'm trying to tell you, guys. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I like money. And I like helping people too. I don't make YouTube videos to be successful on YouTube. I could care less. I really am. I really could. If I was to make all my money tomorrow, I probably wouldn't do YouTube no more. I might do YouTube, probably like a fishing YouTube show or something like that, or hunting, or working on a Mustang or something like that, going into 8 seconds and a quarter or something like that. But like crypto and stuff, I'd probably quit. I probably would. It takes up a lot of time to study this stuff, and it takes a lot out of me. But when you look at that, I don't know what else to tell you guys. And I know this is a long video, but I wanted all y'all to see this, and he could be wrong. He could be wrong. And I could be wrong telling y'all this. That's why, I said I'm not a financial advisor. But damn it, guys. What if he ain't wrong? What other chance will you get at something like this early? A lot of people look at Illuvium, they're like, oh man, that's too high. That's too high. Don't look at Illuvium like that, bro. And let me show you, man. Right here, guys, right here. We're on coin market cap right here. What does the market cap show you? Right here, guys. Max supply, 10 million. 10 million, guys. Half the size of BTC. You don't believe me? And I swear I've only been doing crypto for like about a year now. And I don't claim to be smart, but common sense. It's half the size. Illuvium is not high, guys. You got to look at the market cap. And just like I said, it's sitting around 1,500 right now. I knew it would start going back up. I just ain't got no more money to buy nothing. There you have it, guys. You don't have to listen to me. Just take in consideration what you saw here, especially with him and his math. Go subscribe to his channel. Go turn on notifications if you like this kind of bullshit. And dude, if he's right, wha-bam. That's all I'm saying. This is Poor Man Friend, and I'm out of here.